Alrighty guys, let's get started. Let's continue. We're on number 41. Okay, so what's the solution to the equation 2x minus 7 equals 19? Well, I'm going to rewrite that because I write a little bit bigger than that. So 2x minus 7 equals 19. So first thing I have to do is I have to isolate this term that's got the variable in it. So I have to get that 2x by itself on that side of the equation. So to do that, I have to get rid of this minus 7. So the opposite of minus 7 is plus 7. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides so my equations stay equal. So that leaves me on this side with 2x equals 19 plus 7 is 26. Okay? Now I have to get this x by itself. And this 2x means 2 times x. So what's the opposite of multiplication? That's division. So I have to divide this side by 2, and then I have to divide this side by 2. So that leaves me with x equals 26 divided by 2 is 13. So my answer to number 41 is x equals 13. Okay, let's do a couple more of these. Number 42. What's the value of x in the equation 20 equals 6x plus 14? So I'm going to come over here and write it up a little bit higher and get it out of the way here. So we have 20 equals 6x plus 14. So I have to get this term by itself. Okay, so the opposite of plus 14 is minus 14. If I take 14 away from this side of the equation, I have to take away 14 from this side of the equation. So that leaves me, these cancel, so that leaves me with 6x equals 6. Now I have to get this x by itself. Okay, so this means 6 times x. So I have to divide by 6, divide by 6, so that leaves me with x equals 6 divided by 6 is 1. So my value for this one is x equals 1. Okay, and I can plug that back in here. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus 14 is indeed 20, so I know that's right. Okay? This one's a little different, but don't freak out about it just because it has a fraction. Remember, a fraction is just a division problem. So I have 7/8 x equals 5/6. That means 7/8 of the number x is going to be 5/6. This also means 7/8 times x. So in order to get this x by itself, I have to divide by 7/8. And dividing by 7/8 is the same. Remember, keep, change, flip. Because I want this to be 1x. So I have to have my denominator and my numerator the same. These will cancel out. So I wind up with 1x. If I divide this, if I multiply this side by 8/7, I have to multiply this side by 8/7. Okay? But then I can see that I have a common factor between 6 and 8. They're both divisible by 2. So I can go ahead and divide those by 2 now. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 8 4 times. That makes my numbers a little more fun to work with. Okay, so that leaves me with x equals 5 times 4 is 20, and 3 times 7 is 21. So x equals 21st. And that's my answer for 43. Okay, is it all coming back to you? You starting to remember how to do this? All right, let's jump over here to do number 44. I have negative 64 equals 8/11 n. Okay, this is the same thing that we did over here. I've got to get this n by itself. So I have to multiply this side by 11/8, and those all cancel. And I have to multiply this side by 11/8. Oh, I didn't write that very well, so let's rewrite that. 11/8 times negative 64 equals n, because those have already canceled out. I also know that 8 goes into 64, right? So 8 goes into 8 one time, and 8 goes into negative 64 negative 8 times. So 11 times negative 8 is negative 88. So n equals negative 88. You with me? All right, let's keep going. Number 45. I have negative 3/5 x equals negative 15. Okay? My goal is still to get this x by itself. So here I'm multiplying by negative 3/5. So I need to multiply by negative 5/3. And these all cancel out. And negative times a negative is a positive, so that leaves me with x on this side. And I have to multiply this side by negative 5/3 too. But I can see here 3 goes into a 3 one time, and 3 goes into 15 5 times. So I'm left with negative 5 times negative 5. It's going to give me what? It's going to give me 25. Okay? So x equals 25. Number 46. What is the value of the equation? What's the value of a in the equation? All right. I need a piece of notebook paper. Hold on. Let me grab a piece of notebook paper because I don't have room to work that out. It's not enough room on my paper. So, number 46. Push this up. Number 46 is 1/3 times the quantity 15x plus 21 equals negative 33. Okay? Well, I know when I multiply something times 1/3, it's the same as dividing it by 3. So when I go to distribute this 1/3, okay, I'm just dividing by 3. So 15 times 1/3, or 15 divided by 3, would be 5x, plus 1/3 times 21, or 21 divided by 3, is 7, and that equals negative 33. So now I have to get that 5x by itself, so I have to get this plus 7 to the other side. I got to get rid of it. So I get rid of that 7 there, and if I subtract 7 from one side, I have to subtract it from both sides. So now I have 5x equals negative 40. Now I need to get this x by itself. So to get that x by itself, because this is 5 times x, I have to divide by 5. Divide by 5. So I'm left with x equals negative 8. Okay? X equals negative 8. Alright, number 47. Paola works at the Sem1 clothing store at the mall. She earns $7.25 an hour. She earned $159.50 over the weekend. Her final check for the week was $217.50 before deductions. How many hours did she work in addition to the weekend hours? All right, so let's think about this. I know, this is number 47. I know that her total check equals what she made during the week plus what she made on the weekend, right? Make sense? Let me zoom the camera out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I know that her total check was $217.50. So it was $217.50 was what she made on her total check. And I know that she made $159.50 on the weekend, but I don't know how much she made during the week, so I have to find that out. So, in order to find out how much money she made on the weekend, I have to subtract $159.50 from both sides, $159.50. And that leaves me with W equals, I'll grab my handy dandy little calculator. So I have $217.50 minus $159.50. That means she made $58 during the week. Okay? So it wants to know how many hours did she work. Okay? So this W is how much money she made. So she made $58 during the week. But this is asking me how many hours did she work? Basically, how many hours did she work during the week? So I know that her pay equals the number of hours times her hourly rate. Okay? So I know that she made $58 not during the weekend. Okay? She made $58. Okay? I don't know how many hours she worked, but I do know that she makes $7.25 per hour. So this becomes 58 equals 725 H. Oh, let me move this up so you can see it. So now to get this H by itself right here, I got to get that by itself. This is 725 times H. So I have to divide this by $7.25. Divide this by $7.25. That's going to tell me how many hours she worked. So let's plug this in, and we have, she made $58, and she makes $7.25 per hour. So that means she worked 8 hours. So my H equals 8. Okay, this is the answer to the question. It's not this. Some of you are going to want to have a tendency to stop here. Okay, that's how much money she made, but when we go back and look at the question, it said how many hours did she work? Okay, so she worked 8 hours during the week. Alrighty. Okay, let's look at number 48. Which equation would you use to solve the problem 5 less than the product of 6 and a number is negative 23? Okay, I know product means multiply. So product, this is means equals. So I know it's going to be equals 23. 5 less than, that's going to be a subtraction. The product of 6 and a number, that's going to be multiplication. So 5 less than the product of 6 and a number. So I need the product of 6 and times the number. I need that minus 5, and that is negative 23. So this is 5 less than the product of 6 and a number. So this is 6n minus 5 equals negative 23. So that's going to be B. So this one says this is 6 times a number less than 5 is negative 23. And this one says 6 times a number plus 5 equals negative 23, and that's not what that said. And this one says 5 plus 6 times a number is negative 23, and this is 5 less than. So that's why that one's that. Okay. Number 49, the Spanish Club is raising $300 for a luncheon in Ybor City. They're selling snacks at the bus ramp after school. They will charge 50 cents for a bag of chips and 75 cents for a can of soda. If they sell 240 bags of chips, how many sodas will they need to sell to raise the money? Okay. So, number 48. I'm going to do this one on the notebook paper. So I'm going to put the notebook paper up and pull this one out from underneath so we can look at this one together. So what do I know? Okay, they need to raise $300. They need to raise $300. They're selling chips are 50 cents. Soda is 75 cents. And I know they sell the bags of chips they sell is 240. Okay? So, they're going to sell their chips plus soda. It's going to equal the total that they need to raise. Okay? So, we know that their total that they need to raise is 300. Okay. We also know that the amount that they make on the chips is going to be the total bags of chips times the amount of the soda, or times the amount, the cost per bag. So I have 240 bags times 50 cents a bag plus, I don't know how many bags, how many cans of soda we have, times 75 cents a can. So if we figure this out, this should tell us how many cans of soda that they need to sell. So 240 times 0.5, or 50 cents, that's the same as 1/2, which is the same as dividing by 2. So in my head, I can say that $240 times 50 cents, they're going to make $120 on their chip sales, or on their soda sales. And they're making 75 cents for every soda, and that's going to give them the $300 that they earn. Okay? You with me so far? So now we have to get the term with the variable, or the sodas. We got to get the sodas by themselves. So let's take the chips away. That takes the chips away. Okay? Because we know they made $120 on the chips. So they have 75 cents per soda equals 300. Come on, Bessie. There we go. 300. Oops, not 3,000. 300 minus 120. Should be 180 if I'm not mistaken. It is 180. So they make $180 on their soda sales. So to find out how many cans of soda they sold, or how many cans of soda they need to sell, I have to divide both sides by 75 cents. Okay, I'm going to cancel here and cancel here. Now, just out of curiosity, you think my answer is going to be more or less than 180? It's going to be more, because 75 is less than 1. So if this was 1, it would be 180, but it's less than 1, which means I've got more. My answer is going to be more. So let's divide that. Divide 180. 180 divided by 0.75. And that's going to give me 240. Okay? So I have S equals 240. Okay? So they sold 240 cans of soda. Looks like they sold the same number of sodas as they did chips. So everybody bought chips and a soda. Okay? So our answer here, they need to sell 240 cans. Okay. Number 50. The perimeter of the trapezoid is 30 centimeters. Find the measure of each side. Okay, I'm grabbing a piece of paper for this. This one's going to take up some space. Alright, so I have a trapezoid. I'm going to draw my trapezoid. It's just easier for me to do it all on one piece of paper. This one's x plus 2. This one's 2x. This is x minus 1. And x minus 1. Okay? So what do I know? I know that the perimeter equals 30 centimeters. Okay? So what do I know about perimeter? Perimeter equals all the way around. So that means x minus 1 plus 2x plus x minus 1 plus x plus 2. When I add those all together, I'm going to have 30. Okay? So let's do this. Let's rewrite this so we can combine like terms. So we have x plus 2x, that's that one, plus x is that one, plus x is that one. Come back here, I have minus 1, and plus 2. Okay, so let's add these up. X plus 2x is 3x, 4x, 5x, so this is 5x, minus 1 is minus 2, plus 2 is 0, so we're done there. So 5x equals 30. So divide both sides by 5. I wind up with x equals 6. Okay? So I know that x equals 6. Does that answer that question? Nope. So what I have to do is I have to plug, I know that x equals 6. So now I have to plug x into each one of these. So x minus 1 equals 6 minus 1, because I plugged this x in for 6, so that equals what? That's 5. So I know this one is 5 centimeters, and this one is 5 centimeters, because they were both x minus 1. So I have x plus 2. I want to plug the 6 in for x, so 6 plus 2 equals 8. So this one is 8. And 2x equals 2 times 6, which is 12. So this one's 12 centimeters. Well, let's check that. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 12 plus 8 is 20, and 20 plus 10 is 30. So I know that was right. Yay! All right, that's 41 through 50.